If you're trying to be happy, most advice you hear sounds simple. Think positive, exercise, fix your mindset. But if it were that simple, it wouldn't be a problem. So instead of starting with an advice, it's more useful to start with more basic questions. Why do humans feel depressed at all? From an evolutionary perspective, your brain is not designed to make you happy. It is designed to keep you alive. Emotions are not there to make you feel good. They're there to regulate behaviors. Anxiety makes you avoid danger. Pain makes you stop harmful actions. Social discomfort pushes you back to the group. So the question becomes, what is depression doing? One theory is that depression is kind of a energy conservation mode. In an environment where resources are limited and repeated failure is costly, continuing to act can be dangerous. So the system reduces your motivation, lowers your energy, and suppresses unnecessary action. In other words, the system forces you to stop. Another theory suggests something slightly different. Instead of shutting you down completely, depression may shift your brain into a more analytical mode. Less action, more thinking, more focus on problem, more rumination. The cost is obvious. Low mood, low motivation. The potential benefit is deeper problem analysis. But here's the problem. Even if these mechanisms were useful in the past, they don't map well to modern environments. Today, stress is constant but rarely resolved. Social comparison is continuous. Stimulation is artificially amplified, and most importantly, there is no clear off switch. So a system that were meant to activate temporarily can become chronic. It doesn't turn off. So if you're feeling low, it doesn't necessarily mean something is wrong with you. It may simply mean that a normal system is activated in an environment it wasn't designed for, and it's not shutting down properly. Which leads to a more practical question. If this is a system level issue, how do you actually change it? Instead of thinking in terms of becoming happy, it's more useful to think in terms of restoring system function. You can approach this in layers, from intervention that requires almost no effort to ones that requires more control. The first layer is physiological regulation. This is the lowest level. It does not rely on motivation. It directly affects your body. For example, breathing. If you extend your exhale longer than your inhale, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system. That reduces stress signals almost immediately. Sunlight works in a similar way. Even a few minutes helps regulate circadian rhythm. This is not psychological, it is biochemical. And in more severe cases, medication operates in the same principle. It changes the underlying chemistry directly. The second layer is minimal behavioral action. At this stage, the goal is not improvement, it's interruption. Very small action are enough. Walking for a few minutes, leaving your room, doing something basic. These actions are not meaningful by themselves, but they break zero activity state, and that matters. The third layer is constructural stabilization. Now you're influencing the system more consistently. Sleep timing is one of the most important variables. Waking up at a fixed time anchors your internal clock. Even if everything else is unstable, this creates a baseline. Add light movement, not for performance, but for regulation. At the same time, reduce excessive stimulation, especially short form content. It fragments attention and often makes mood instability worse. The fourth layer is a higher level cognitive tool. Meditation, journaling, goal setting. This operates on attention and interpretation, but they require a certain level of stability, so they are not starting points, they are amplifiers. One important clarification, if you understand all of this, but still can't execute even the lowest level actions, that is not a failure of discipline. It's likely mean the system is more severely impaired, and in that case, external support becomes a more efficient intervention. So the goal is not to suddenly become happy, but to move from non-functional to minimally functional to stable. And once you're stable with all this rhythm going, biologically, you're going to feel peaceful and happy automatically. At the lowest point, the task is simple. Keep the system running. Everything else comes after that. Thank you very much for watching. This is Mr. Sam. I'll see you on the next one.